Regular date is December 11th, 2023. It is 9 a.m. Let the minutes reflect we have a quorum. We're going to begin with our prayer led by Commissioner Martin and then our Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you bow your heads and pray with me? Heavenly Father, we're humbled to be in your presence today, where, Lord, we will conduct the business of Wilson County. And Father, we just ask that you be with those that are sick or in need of your healing hand. And Father, we just ask that you help us as we prepare to celebrate the birth of your Son, Jesus Christ, as that season approaches. Lord, just help us to do everything as you would have us to do it in your eyes. Lord, just bless us to your service. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Move to agenda item number 3 on public comments. We have one public sign up, Mr. Ray Wolf, our mayor from Stockdale. Mr. Wolf, you have the floor, sir.
How are y'all? I need to talk to these two gentlemen because these three I have either talked to personally, sent text messages to, called on the phone, and I have gotten never gotten anything. What I want to know is how, when y'all get a budget for like the juvenile probation, it gives you, here's what we're paying everybody, this is what Karnes County owes, this is what this one owes. We don't get that, City of Stockdale, when we get a tax bill. All we get is you owe X number of dollars. We don't know what that X number of dollars is for. And I've asked, you can talk to these three. And I have to apologize to you, and you, because I talked to the judge in June, hoping that we would get it straight for this budget year. So y'all three would not be on the deal. When I called the judge in October, or texted the judge in October, he said, well, haven't you gotten, you never could text me back, so I figured you got your information. I didn't know I was supposed to get texting back, okay? I just thought he said he would get it for me, he would get it for me. So to y'all three, I apologize, because I didn't text him back, okay? But I have started texting, like at 5:15 in the morning, I don't have it. 6:09 in the morning, I don't have it. I did do that, because I want them to know I'm serious. I even asked to be on the agenda today, and they refused to put me on the agenda. I even texted them at 8:45 in the morning, Friday morning, and said, look, I know you're going to post an agenda. Can I be on it? Not a word. I even texted them at 1 o'clock and said, y'all didn't put me on there. Can I at least speak? Not a word. Man, that's the way we want Commissioners Court to be. Don't talk to anybody. The problem is, so y'all understand, y'all can blame the tax collector and all that. I don't care who you blame. The bottom line is she presents a budget proposal to the county for income. It is up to whoever, she didn't input that into the budget. I promise you. She didn't come in here and input that into the budget. There is a person that is, by law, in charge of the budget for Wilson County. It's stated in the law. You people certified that the budget is correct. It is, we have asked all the questions. We're now certifying that the budget is correct. So let me just tell you one of the problems. I hadn't seen the whole thing, I don't. But one of them is that 80% of the money spent at the tax office, 80%, for vehicle registration, taxes, and all that need to be charged to all the various entities. 80%. That means it's 4. So if I go in there and register my vehicle and it takes 5 minutes, you're telling me it takes 20 minutes? 20 minutes to open up an envelope and post your taxes? That's what you're telling me? I don't think that's right. And the only thing I'm going to say, and I'm through, I got to take my granddaughter. The last time y'all did that was 2019. Not 2020, not 2021, 22, or 23, 19. That's all I got to say. That's the best y'all can do for me. Let's go to the doctor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wolf. We'll move to agenda item number 4, certificates and completion of awards. All right, we have a certificate here from the Criminal Justice Information Services Security and Privacy Training for Liliana Lopez. Another certificate of completion for Commissioner John Scott Aiken. He attended 17 hours of continuing education at the 101st Annual CJCA of Texas Conference. We'll put those into the minutes. All right. Move to agenda item number 5. We have an extension and activity reports from our AgriLife folks. Y'all want to come up and take the podium?
Good morning, everybody. How are
Morning.
y'all?
Good morning.
Good.
And you?
So in your binders, you have our extension activity reports for you to look at. Miss Allison is handing out our year-end summaries for you to look at. Just a little light reading. I think there's about 10 pages on there. These summaries are what we give to y'all and our stakeholders. So, and most importantly, we have our breakfast in the judges' conference room after Commissioners Court. So all is welcome to come down and get a little breakfast for the day. Okay? Thank you. Any questions? Yeah? Yes. There's really not like a real slow time for us. We just kind of make it, fit it in there. So, yeah. So we welcome everybody to the breakfast. It's our way to say we appreciate all of y'all's support. So,
I seen y'all setting up there. We're looking forward to that.
yes, so we'll see y'all down there soon. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6, we have our county clerk, Genevieve Martinez, discuss take action on approving memorandums of understanding between Wilson County and the following vendors for county clerk's e-recording: A, Simple File LC, B, E-Recording Partners Network, and C, Corporation Service Company. Ms. Martinez, you have the floor.
Okay, so what this is, e-recording, is all the deeds, the public records that we get in through, at the counter, title companies, attorneys, they can do it electronically now. Well, if you sign the MOUs with these 3 companies, that would hopefully take away a little bit of the foot traffic that we get. Sometimes we're backed up because we're having to scan every document that comes in to give it back to them, and we get a lot. We get about 50 documents a day or more, and a lot of those could be 20, 30, 40 pages. So this does not come, we don't pay for this. The attorneys, the title companies pay these vendors, and then they pay us our recording fees. So the convenience charge, all of that, that goes to the vendors. And they take that straight out. They just pay us through an ACH. So I'd really like to do this if y'all would allow it. The county attorney did look at all the contracts already.
We good, Mr. Huron?
It's fine, and it certainly would make it much more efficient if people are able to e-file these documents, and there is no cost to the county. It's whoever's filing, they pay the fees, and then the recording fees are submitted. So it's a great move towards trying to consolidate and be more efficient.
Okay. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion. Before we go further, is one of these, which one needs to be signed, and do we have an original if we vote?
I have them right here.
Okay, so upon passing, if we do, then pass them.
And so all three of these are different companies, or they do different?
Yes.
They each do different things, so they can pick and choose who they
Yes.
want to, okay. I'll make,
And these are like the top three. There's a few more. These are the top three that most counties use.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve the memorandums of understanding between Wilson County and Simple File LLC, E-Recording Partners Network, and Corporation Service Company. Check.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Is there any other discussion on agenda item number 6?
Discussion.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
I know that we already have these services, and since we have the treasurer here, how is it conveyed into our checking account and as far as the ACH? Is
So-
that just going to go into the general fund? Is there something that we need to dedicate in the way of banking?
The way we set that up with the credit card usage, we have a credit card clearing account.
Okay,
So we'll go into that account, and then at the end of the month, once we reconcile their monthly reports, just any office has their amount that will be transferred, then into our general. So yeah, those funds do get transferred. Initially, they go through our credit card clearing, that's how it initially was set up on paid, and then from there it will be transferred. We do that across the board for all.
JP offices, right, district court.
So it doesn't.
Just one more line item on the budget.
I don't know that it needs to be
Oh, no.
kept separate.
I don't think so.
There's no expense to the county for it, so we won't see any pass-through.
Okay,
She'll still report it monthly on her monthly report, because you're gonna take some in cash or checks or by credit card, I guess.
Yeah, because this is, not everybody's going to e-record. Yeah, so,
But it's not any different than what she's doing now, other than it's just an additional service provided to the public. But there's no change in how we are charging people.
No.
Collecting money.
no.
Additional line item.
No.
but the collection's being done by an outside provider and they're paying us.
But that's what's being done now.
Oh, it
With
is?
our credit card company. Our credit card company collects it, and then they turn around and deposit the funds in our account.
The difference is this is done somewhere else, and right now, everything's done in your office physically.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll still have to, when the document comes in, we still have to index it, we still have to verify it. We're still doing all of that. They're just taking it for us and basically scanning it and rejecting it if it's not a legal document.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody, after y'all have breakfast, to come to the clerk's office for cookies and cocoa with clerks.
This is not the time of the year to be on a diet, right? Okay, thank you.
Exactly.
Agenda item number 7, we have to discuss and approve the interlocal agreement with the Regional Public Defender's Office, Local Government Corporation, RPDO, in Wilson County, and I think this is an annual thing that we do. Is that correct, Ms. Huron?
I believe so.
Because I looked at the paperwork from last year, and we have to do it every year. Y'all want to take a look at that right quick? It's in your book.
Tied to our insurance.
Is that one? I think.
I don't think it was in, this was just, I think that agreement was.
Like, yeah, it should be like 11 so that's 24.
And Ms. Huron, just so that I'm correct, this is only for capital cases, correct?
Yes.
How many do we average in Wilson? Is that for the whole 81st Judicial District?
Yes, it's not, I mean, it's not part of our office, it's the district attorney's office.
Right.
So it's in the district.
We haven't had a capital case in this county in a while, correct? Okay. All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 7.
I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with the Regional Public Defender Office Local Government Corporation, RPDO, in Wilson County.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Aiken regarding agenda item number 7. Is there any other discussion?
Judge, I do want to make a comment.
Sure.
Just so that the court is aware, it appears, I just now saw this interlocal, so I wanted to confirm that the amount, our allocations for Wilson County were what we budgeted for the 2 years, and it looks like they increased the allocation due to the 2020 census, which is quite higher than what we budgeted because of what we've paid historically every year. So I just want to make the court aware that we have, I think typically we paid it, I can't get it to the penny, but I want to say it's somewhere in the range of $8,800 a year, and it looks like our allocation now is $15,000 and some change. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that, so when we do get the invoice to pay it, I'll have to note that on the budget, just so that you're aware.
Okay.
Do a budget amendment, or?
No, I mean, when we do the budget, if we didn't have that prior to us approving the budget, we wouldn't have known anyway, so we'll just be over budgeted in that line item, and we'll know for fiscal year 25's budget to budget accordingly.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I had not looked at that. I didn't know that it increased because I didn't know the numbers from last year. How do we get this notification from them early on?
I don't know where this,
I don't either. I don't know how they get that figure. Okay.
I'm trying to remember, but I mean, I don't know that they've ever sent us a letter or anything.
I'm
mean, it
thinking
goes
it's done
on-
every 2 years because that's what it was, so I couldn't even remember
Yeah.
when it came 2 years ago. It was probably at the old rate, so, but as far as getting it, is that dated anywhere?
No.
I'll have to reach out to someone over there and find
Yeah, I
out.
would just ask that they get it, for future reference and, advance so we can budget accordingly.
I'm sure we're not, the other 253
Yeah.
counties are having the same problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other discussion, Commissioners? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? Motion passes. Move to agenda item number 8, discuss and take action on a professional services contract for forensic pathology autopsy services with Dr. Ray Fernandez, MD, in Corpus Christi. Let me start that off by, okay, so there's no confusion from the public that's listening or the audience. We have already begun the planning process for the money that was allocated to us by the state of Texas to build our own medical examiner's office that will encompass the 81st Judicial and the 218th. I haven't even seen the money in the bank yet, so I don't know where we're at on that. But for right now, Bexar County's not taking any bodies anymore from Wilson County or any other counties. They're just strictly with Bexar County. Our forensic pathologist in Lockhart's winding down. She's trying to retire. The only other place we can go to now is either Travis County or to Dr. Fernandez in Corpus Christi. Myself, Judge Liska, Judge Cood, went and visited his facility. He's accredited. He's willing to do this for us on what he wants is the agreement so that it's easier to accept the bodies. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep our justices of the peace are going to have to continually fill the forms out. And Judge, you understand you've had to do that a couple of times, so we're trying to to expedite your work that you do when you're having to do an unattended death inquest. What I like about Dr. Fernandez's services is you can pick and choose what you need done within these forensic services. If someone's killed in an automobile accident, obviously it's blunt force trauma. We know that. That's the obvious reason, but you're going to want to know a toxicology. So that's the only thing they'll charge you for. So it's not always a full-blown autopsy. And all he's wanting is this agreement, makes it easier for our judges doing the inquest, and then when we have our own services, medical examiner's office, then we won't have to need his services anymore. Come on up, Judge. Come on up.
One thing I want to do, we need this for right now until we figure out if we're going to be able to get that one. But the other thing is, this whole year, we've been all over the map trying to look for places to take bodies to perform autopsies or toxicology. And South Texas has been doing it for us for right now. But as y'all said, she's wanting to retire. I talked to her last week, and she has no problem us moving to Dr. Fernandez. So just to let you know, but we need this so we can get this contract going.
Yes.
Because right now, we don't have no understanding who we need to send deceased bodies to. So I thank y'all.
Okay, Judge, thank you. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 8.
I'll make a motion to move forward with the forensic pathology autopsy service with Dr. Ray Fernandez.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin regarding agenda item number 8. Is there any other discussion? Hear none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to agenda item number 9. We have Cindy Stafford, our Emergency Management Coordinator, discuss and take action on interlocal agreement between Wilson County and ESD1 for 911 mapping and GIS services. You have the floor, ma'am.
Good
So
morning.
you have the chief with you. Do you want him to come up as well?
You want to come up?
Chief, you want to come on up? I know you're going to call me later and say, thanks for doing that, but.
And I believe he's already given the signed contract that President Traynor signed to Ms. Genevieve. So this contract is between the county and District 1 for them to continue to do GIS mapping and 911 addressing until we get someone trained and hired. The delay has been that battalion chief has been taking our antiquated online version of the map, the CAD map, and putting it online. And we're taking 2 systems and making it into one. And it's a lot. It doesn't make sense when you've got 911 responders talking about a CAD map and you've got the CAD system, the tax system talking about the CAD. You got 2 different groups of people talking about the county map. There shouldn't be. We should have one map. And then you talk about 911 addressing, and you've got different people talking about different maps. So we've got really the one expert doing this now. He's creating it. It's going to be online. We have access to it. And then they're, of course, putting the 911 addressing, which is not really for postal services. It's for response services. Once he gets this up and running, then he'll work with us to train and hire somebody to take over on the county side. So in the interim, he's going to continue to update and get the map corrected. We're going to get ACOG out of the loop and continue with PSAP. Then we'll be able to take it over fully on the county side.
Okay, so while we have you up here, Brenda, have we resolved the issue with the agreement we had for the partial payment to the chiefs
I
and
have
board?
not received an invoice, but I believe the contract was
We're good,
signed.
we're good with that?
So we have a couple of ILAs. This one, we haven't billed anything for because we don't have a ILA in place.
But we've got it in place and it's been approved.
Okay.
Okay, so we just need, when you're ready to invoice, just let us know.
So it'll, and if we can, we'll backdate it
Okay.
for November. He's been doing this for several months, but at least if we can go
I think it
back.
started November 1st?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, real good. All right.
And that's for the 911 addressing.
That's for 911 addressing, correct?
Okay. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 9.
I make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement between Wilson County and ESD1 for the 911 mapping and the GIS services.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, seconded by Commissioner King. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you.
We don't have Sheriff Stewart here. We moved to agenda item 10. No one from the sheriff's office. We're going to go on to agenda item number 11.
He had a tooth problem. He had to run to the dentist this morning.
Oh, okay, all right. Agenda item number 11, we have Lou Cerato, Permitting and Development Director. We'll start with 11A, 1 through 4, utility permit.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first utility permit I have for El Oso Water Supply Company. It did have a couple of errors on it, so I got the correct information from him this morning. They propose to put in a 3-foot deep at the bottom of the bar ditch. Their steel casing will be 4 inches and the inside service line will be 2 inches. This will be going in west of County Road 231 and 229. And it's a bore.
I'll make a motion to accept permit 753 El Oso Water to bore under County Road 231.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin regarding 11A1, permit 753. Is there any other discussion?
So the other permits that I have is 754 through 756. These are all the same from SS Water, just taking place.
Hold on. We probably should have combined that, but since we have a motion on the floor, we're going to complete this motion and then.
No, go ahead.
Okay? Any other discussion on A1? Hear none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Now, we'll move to 11A2, and we'll do that individually, and the next two we'll do, combine them. Okay, 11A2, 754.
754 is a proposed 2-inch PVC road bore under County Road 331. It is 30 feet across, and it'll be a 2-inch PVC main with a 1-inch service line.
I'll make a motion to approve permit number 754 SS Water off County Road 331.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Is there any other discussion regarding 11A2, permit 754? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to, now we'll combine 11, 3 and 4, 755, and permit 756, precinct number 3. Go ahead.
Okay, so this one is for precinct 3, like you said. It is also a 2-inch PVC casing with 1-inch service line. The first one will go under County Road 332. And the second one for permit 756 is proposed in Sutherland Springs under 7th Street.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for 11A3 and 4.
I'll make a motion that we approve permit 755 on County Road 332 and permit 756 on 7th Street.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perdola, second by Commissioner Aiken regarding 11A34. Any other discussion? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. All those against? Motion passes. Thank you. We will now move to 11B1, non-standard plats, variances, County Road 120, 3873, Precinct Number 1, Leonard Zuniga.
Yes, and this information was provided to Commissioner Martin as well. It's just a standard variance, splitting of the property. There's nothing, there's no structures, there's no wells or anything. They did have their utility letters from Picosa and from Phelps.
The only question I have, and this is a procedural thing, and I know we don't have it in our procedures right now, but since we've had several of these where the deed restrictions say this can't be done unless it's approved by Commissioner's Court,
Yes.
and I'm just wondering, how does the general public or the adjacent landowners know? Because, I mean, in other, in some areas for certain things, is that something that we can do or should do, Ms. Huron? I just, I don't want somebody to come in and saying, well, I didn't know anything about this. And if we've got a good answer, then that's fine. But if we don't, I mean, I just think, seems to me that however we do that, or should we do that?
Well, what is it that you're wanting to do? You want to let the neighbors know that people are asking?
Like a public notice?
or whether
Yeah.
or not they've been approved through their, that the deed restriction provides for certain procedures. There's really no way to let the neighbors know. Now, everything that's done at the planning meeting, I mean, there's an agenda, it states the exact address or the exact location that the variance has been requested. So if there's neighbors that are concerned, they can always look and see, this is going to be addressed by the committee and then submitted to Commissioner's Court. Everyone has a different, deed restrictions vary from landowner to landowner.
Right.
Usually in the subdivision, they're the same, but there's no way to really tell everyone around there what's happening unless it's on agenda or it's part of a public hearing or. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, a little bit, but I guess, well, I guess then maybe the way to word the question is, do we have the statutory authority to require that? At least the statutory authority to do that, to at least notify the adjacent neighbors. I mean,
Well, the rules and regulations provide that there is an application, and it does say that if it violates any deed restrictions, then the variance cannot be approved. The homeowner can always, the committee is the first line of the request, and if the committee feels that this is improper, or there's a deed restriction, they're always welcome to come to Commissioner's Court and ask for the variance, and that's proper. I mean, the county can certainly ask that certain requirements be met. And the application provides that they have to attach any deed restrictions. And if there are deed restrictions against the variance or against what they're asking, then they just get a no. They get a no from the committee.
In this case, they did provide their covenants and restrictions as well as the plat to the subdivision. The covenants and restrictions, it just says that it has to be approved by Commissioner's Court in order to split the property.
right, but if I live next door to this gentleman and I bought a lot, I only figured there's ever gonna be one person living next door to me. Now there's gonna be two. And that's why I think they need some kind of notification so that if they object to it, and I'm sure they'll object until they want to do the same thing, And I just want to make sure that people know about these things, and if they're concerned about it, that they can voice their opinion, because with the buck stopping here at this table in this court, we don't know if anybody objects to this or not. I guess that's my point, is that, you know, it's great, these people want to do that. We're following the deed restriction covenants that says it has to be approved by this court. But I would like to know if the neighbors are happy with it. It's kind of like the similar one we had in Commissioner Perdola's precinct here a while back, where they took that park and converted it to a lot. You know,
Well, the deed restrictions, and that's what they're designed to do, the restrictions, is to protect the surrounding homeowners, and so, that usually prevent subdividing, or provide whatever the restriction is for if there is no deed restriction, and that's how you buy your land, and you want to subdivide, well, then you should have the right to do that without having to ask all your neighbors, is it okay that I do this? Because, I mean, there's nothing in their deeds or in their covenants that prevent that, and, you know, if-
That would, I mean, ultimately, would we take their argument in consideration, or is that, I mean, because legally,
right,
we
I
wouldn't
mean-
be able to?
Yeah, I mean, because it's difficult for me to represent the other folks that live in that neighborhood if I don't know what their opinion is.
But the other thing that's come up recently, and Commissioner Perdola and I are subject to trying to get some answers for several citizens, is if an HOA dissolves, and within that HOA, there were certain rules and regulations, and then we can't legally enforce anything if there's no HOA involved anymore.
It falls on
And
the
it's
members.
hard to explain to the public that it becomes a civil matter at that point, where they, so.
And there are a lot of people buy their property with HOAs that are semi-active with restrictions, and then they go under, or they just are no longer effective. Their recourse is against the HOA, and, yeah, it's, I mean, the county doesn't really get involved, or it is a civil matter.
Yeah, because I mean, that's another issue. Many of these HOAs form and then they dissolve over the years. This one never had one to my knowledge. But you lose that level of oversight, yes, so to speak.
Yes.
When that does happen, that's a different situation, but.
This one stated that they had an agriculture committee, architectural committee.
Yeah.
Architectural committee, that's what the subdivision had, but we looked for it, and
I honestly don't think it was ever formed, to be honest with you. But that's a fairly old subdivision too, so. Well, I would like to suggest that the committee take a look at that and evaluate that. I know we've been updating and revising the application for this, and I think I would like y'all to take that into consideration and put that on your agenda.
were your thoughts maybe a post on the newspaper post, or on
No, I
our
mean, it
website?
could be a simple thing of, tell us who your neighbors are too, or whatever, and give us, and let us, contact them. So at least I have that information.
Okay,
It might be a renter or somebody else. How do I get a hold of the landowner?
okay.
But,
You're saying the county needs to contact all of the neighbors?
no. That would be the individual's responsibility. I'm just saying, what do we need to do? What's the right thing to do so that people know and that they're aware of that? And if they want to make their opinion heard, they need to know. Because, I mean, they could come here this morning and speak their piece in the public opinion, or it could be at the review committee, either one.
Then what's the use of the covenants and restrictions?
Pardon?
What's the use of the covenants and restrictions? We're following the covenants and restrictions on their property.
Well, yeah, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. Because all it says is for them to be able to do this is it has to come to this court. So my question is, how does this court judge whether this is the right thing to do or not?
They don't get here before going through committee. I mean,
Well, but I mean,
this has been reviewed already by,
I understand and I agree with that. And that's why I'm suggesting that maybe something in the application process needs to include that so that we have the information if we need to pursue it. I mean, I just think that the public needs the opportunity to be able to provide their voice without having to check the subdivision agenda every month, to do that. If we can do it, if we're not statutorily allowed to do that, that's one thing. That's what I'm trying to understand. or want to understand.
Well, perhaps an edit on the application would be enough, just asking whether their neighbors are aware of them splitting the property,
Yeah, I mean, you can
and
do
if they
that.
plan on letting their neighbors know.
Something like that, yeah.
But I
mean,
don't know if the owners have an obligation to even do that.
Yeah, no, they don't, and it's very difficult, it's gonna be very difficult to provide that kind of restriction on subdivision if they've met the regulations, and then you have a disgruntled neighbor who's like, you know, I don't want you to do that, and I'm gonna voice that I don't want you to do that, but what can they do? There's not so much, other than urge Commissioner's Court not to approve the variance, but,
Well, and I mean, I notice a lot of these lately, I would say the last half dozen or more, you know, everybody wants to sell an acre so they can have a little bit of money to fix up their place. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, you know, I personally, I wouldn't buy in a subdivision, but if I did, I would want to make sure, you know, that I'm knowing I'm only going to have one neighbor on either side of me. Whatever the lot sizing is, it tells me that. But, just talk about it at the committee. I mean, I'm good with whatever y'all decide to do. But I just wonder if enough people know or hear about these things to be able to, if they have an issue, you know, because what's to say, so they don't want to get rid of another acre, and then that becomes another question. I don't think we have any guidelines that wouldn't violate any covenants and restrictions. I mean, they could sell off an acre and an acre and acre until they've sold their 5-acre lot 5 times.
We try to stay on top of those, though, because we have had it some.
Not if they do it one every 3 or 4 years or 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
If they did it all at one time, sure. But if they sold an acre this year, and an acre in 2 or 3 years, and another acre in 2 or 3 years. Okay, well, I'll make a motion to reluctantly approve this variance.
And this variance, the paperwork is pending what the Development Review Committee had asked for on the survey, showing the lot number and then Lot A. So once that gets, I will bring that to get filed and signed.
All right, motion been made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King regarding 11B1. Do we have any other discussion related to B1, and stay on track, so. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. We move now to agenda item number 12. Ms. Genevieve Martinez, discuss take action on Commissioner Court minutes. Thank you, Luz, appreciate it. Ms. Martinez?
Judge, the minutes have been reviewed by the judge and the county attorney.
Okay. Yeah, I have them. Okay, Commissioners, entertain a motion on agenda item number 12 and taking action on the Commissioner Court minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Commissioners Court's minutes.
Motion made by Commissioner Perdola. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Marner. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 12? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. We're going to skip over agenda item number 13. Ms. Bodiford says she has no reports to bring forth. Agenda item number 14, we now have Ms. Brenda Trevino, our county auditor, to discuss and take action on county bills.
Commissioners and Judge, I reviewed and approved bills totaling $312,115.14. And these, the cutoff was November 15th for our fiscal year, so.
I hear somebody's stomach growling.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Paradola regarding agenda item number 14. Do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Okay. Before I adjourn, I need to just say a few words. All right, Commissioners, I got back from Washington DC this weekend, and I look forward to meeting with you all individually to brief you. It was very productive. Every day, we spent every day at the Capitol from sunup to sundown, met with a lot of lawmakers, some promising issues that we have locally were answered for us, and hopefully we'll get the ball rolling on some grants that could be coming our way. So look forward to telling you all about that. It was a great trip, and we actually met with our lawmakers and others from other states as well, but all ours that represent our state. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, ayes have it. We are adjourned. The time is 9:48.